Welcome to Highway to Helms in 3, 2, 1.
Another day, another dollar as I holler to the world. I love the way I'm living, love the Gucci, love the girls, love the parties and the clubs, love the models and hot tubs, love the German engineering set on deep dish dubs. Another tour around the world, entertaining the fans. I love walking through the airport, taking pictures, shaking hands. Every day for me's an oyster, crack it open, find the pearl. I love the way I live, is what I holler to the world.
Cool. Welcome everybody to another episode of Highway to Helms. Over 1 million downloads on iTunes. Also available now for your viewing pleasure on youtube.com/ShaneHelmsCom. See how I make that easy? As always, let me thank my sponsors, highspots.com, for all your wrestling paraphernalia, DVDs, merchandise, action figures, masks, maybe even capes. Go to highspots.com. They got all that shit. Figure4apps.com, still the makers of the only, why is nobody coming around yet? Official pro wrestler iPhone app, the Shane event. The updates to this are going to be tremendous. I keep pushing the date back because I keep adding new shit.
You said tremendous.
Tremendous.
I hear you, Raven.
Tremendous. Figure 4 Apps created the I'm a Wrestling Fan app. If you're a promoter, get this app and for free, promote your shows to thousands and thousands of fans. If you're a wrestler, get this. Help promote the show you're on. Don't be a dick. Do everything you can to get people in the seat. If you're a fan, get this app so you can find shows that you didn't even know were happening in an area near you. Not just around the world, but near you. Same concept for I'm a Fight Fan, but it's for MMA. Not just UFC, not just Strikeforce, not just Bellator. Find out there are a lot of local fights probably around you that you might not know about. I'm a Fight Fan will find them for you. Same concept for NASCAR and Indy racing is I'm a Race Fan. Same concept for comic conventions. If you've never been to a Comic Con, you need to put that on your bucket list. Also got to thank RF Video for producing the one and only Shane Helms shoot, available at rfvideo.com. Boom! And we're back. What's going on, Big Daddy?
Oh, Big Daddy. Still larger than life.
Fucking large, all right.
Feeling a little sick today, man. So I'm a little off. You gotta forgive me.
Man, don't be coming over here. Don't be coming over here with none of that AIDS shit.
Went and played golf Monday with my boy NDT, Notorious David Taylor.
How'd that go?
Not too good. Felt like shit ever since.
You still hanging on to this golf shit?
Yeah, only golf.
You should give up on it, man.
I don't know. Because that's the one game I just love to hate.
Can't
aggravating horse shit.
Stress reliever, but everybody that plays golf is just mad as fuck all the time.
Run out there and throw my clubs in the damn pond.
Had a good show this weekend in Chicago.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went great, man. Jerry Lynn was in it in a Extreme Rules match, man. That dude is good.
That is the hardest working man there is.
He's as uncredited as they come. Like no matter how much credit he gets, it'll never be enough. I don't like to say underrated because there are no real ratings. But
he's one of them guys that was always like. Everybody thought he was great. Everybody respected him, but he just never seemed to get that big break that he could have used.
Yeah. Definitely ahead of his time. One of the pioneers of the hybrid style that's so prevalent in wrestling.
He was in
today.
ECW with us when we were there.
Yeah.
I mean, him and RVD would wrestle, tear the house down every night.
That's where he had his best run, no doubt, was in ECW.
And he WWE hired him, I remember, for a short period of time, but they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, we were there. We were in WWE together for a short time. It was actually the last time I think I've seen him since this weekend.
He's not a young guy either.
No, this is actually his farewell tour.
I mean, I don't know exactly how old he is. I think he's a couple years older than me, which makes him probably ancient at this point.
He told me February will be his last match. So if you hear Jerry Lynn's coming to a town near you, check him out because this might be the last time you get to see. Is he the whole damn? No, which one is he? He's the whole effing show, and Rob is the whole damn show.
Rob was Mr. Monday Night. You know, that motherfucker wrestled on Thursdays.
There you go.
Jerry Lynn was Mr. JL.
He was Mr. JL. And then he got hurt. And he got hurt in WCW. And by the time he came back, he was like one of the very few masked guys they had. And then he came back, they brought in a bunch of luchadors.
There you have it. Can't have nothing.
Can't have a damn thing. You know, but I always talk about how my influence in wrestling was the American masked cruiserweights. There weren't really hardly any.
Masked white boy?
Mass White Boys. Won't hardly any of them motherfuckers before me. Jerry Lynn was up there.
Did you
Even though it was a short little run, I got to give credit.
Speaking of masked white boys, did you ever see Daniel Bryan as American Dragon?
I mean, I've seen pictures. I never saw his work.
That's what he did when we were in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good gimmick. It was like Jeff Hardy with the Will-O-the-Wisp.
Right.
It was almost like a completely different person.
Where was Jeff from? New Zealand?
I can't even remember.
It was some shit like New Zealand or Australia or something. Will-O-the-Wisp.
It was so funny, though, how Jeff, and another one that nobody probably really knows was Richard Beck when he'd do that.
El Loco?
Yeah, and it was like he would just put on a red mask. He would actually wear the same trunks and boots and knee pads. You could see his whole body, and it's for some reason you couldn't tell it was him.
Jeff, the thing I loved about Jeff when he was Willow and Richard Beck was just like this, would wrestle completely different.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, you know, most of the time when you put a gimmick on somebody, you can sit there and look at him and go, the Angel of Death.
You know who else was like that when we were coming up was Bob Ellis. There's a guy that we wrestled with. He was country boy or farmer boy or cowboy or some shit like that. Bob Ellis.
Then he was the Intruder, right?
Then he'd come out as the Intruder, and as the Intruder, he was great. As Bob Ellis, I was kind of like, whatever. As the Intruder, he was awesome.
How about that capo kick?
Oh, Jim and I kid about knocked his damn teeth out.
Kicked his damn spleen up into his esophagus.
He'll be okay. So did you watch Monday Night Raw? Did you get any?
Watched it this morning, as a matter of fact.
Wednesday morning Raw.
Wednesday morning Raw.
Not that good of a rating. I thought it was a decent show.
You know, there's this. You got this real long show. And you get these little tidbits of gold in there.
Yeah.
And most of them revolve around CM Punk and Paul Heyman.
And Daniel Bryan.
I know you like Daniel Bryan. I'm not as big of a fan as
that shit is over, man. It's over.
It may be. And let me preface this by saying something. When you make statements, or you or me or anybody else, that something sucks or that something's good, that's an opinion, right?
Of course.
Just because I say it sucks doesn't mean that it actually sucks. It just means I don't like it.
Right.
So if somebody else likes it, to them it doesn't suck.
Gotcha.
I just don't like that comedy skit that they're doing between him and Ken. It's kind of funny, but I don't know.
Why don't you like it? You got to have some comedy out there.
I do, but you take comedy. It's just not my concept of pro wrestling. And
if you got 3 hours of wrestling, it can't be all guys out there angry, pissed off the whole 3 hours. You got to have some levity.
See, to me, good comedy was Kung Fu Naki. That shit was gold.
They could have ran with it.
And I think you warned me ahead or called me ahead of time and said you need to watch this shit.
That was my idea.
Yeah, you told me, but you were like, this shit's gold. And I was watching it that night, and I was like, yeah.
And I directed the segment.
And what really made it good was he was wearing fucking little tennis shoes.
I tell you how I got fucked on that situation too. Was I wrote the song. I was riding with Edge.
Yeah, you told me.
And I don't know if I've told this story here before, but we look over there and Funaki and Taka are driving beside us, and I just happened to look over there, and I just, without thinking at all, I looked at Adam and I go, "Wouldn't it be great if Funaki's first name was Kung?" And he goes, "Kung Funaki?" And he just started laughing, and then I just started singing, "Everybody love Kung Funaki, do 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 do. That bitch be drinking sake, do 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 do. His body is short and stocky, do 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 do. Him drive a Kawasaki, oh." And the whole time Adam was fucking pissed laughing, and so we called him, the locker room called him Kung Funaki like forever.
This sounds familiar.
And then
don't come in here all jacked up.
We come here all jacked up, and so then they were going to make him Kung Funaki, and I guess just out of respect, they asked me to direct the segment. So
you did, at least you got credit, right?
But from there, but then I tell you what fucked me up. It didn't fuck me up anything because I didn't even want to get paid for it. But when they came out with the CD, I wanted the writing credit on the CD because I wrote the fucking song.
Who sang it? Crush?
I don't. Oh, on the segment, Crush sang it. I don't know who sang it on the actual CD. But when it came out, one of those music CDs of fucking entrance music, whatever.
What do they do? Just go get some singers, professional singers to do it?
Yeah, that or there's a guy named Jim Johnson. It's either Jim Johnson or Jim Johnston or some shit like that. So anyway, I called him and emailed his office and said, "Look, I'm the one that wrote that song, man. So I ain't looking to get paid, but can you just throw me a credit on there? I think that would look cool on the resume."
What do you say?
He fucking wrote it down like he wrote it. That plagiarizing motherfucker.
There you have it. Call
that is just plagiarizing, ain't it?
I'm just glad they didn't let Michael Hayes sing it.
Michael Hayes just sang a new. Have you seen Freebird Road? This is a song he put out dedicated to Terry Gordy. Ain't that bad?
He's got a certain style, like that Leonard Skinner and Southern rock stuff he can pull off. He sang the national anthem one night at one of the Raw or SmackDown. That shit was fucking brutal.
Oh, did he? Like out there in the crowd?
Sounded like Carl Lewis.
Come on. Come on now, Mike. I tell you, I like back to Raw. I like the first segment. You know, Punk and Paul Heyman out there tearing it up.
Did you see the way Punk was sitting in that chair? Just the way he was looking around. And
he's got, man,
that shit was good. And when they
subtle.
When they brought that referee out there, I was sitting there watching.
Garrett Bischoff?
Yeah, I'm sitting there marking. Is that who it is?
No.
I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat, like marking out, and I'm watching Punk, and I'm like, he's going to jump up out of that fucking seat in a minute and go off on this motherfucker. And I'm like, and then as soon as he did it, I was like, yeah.
I love Heyman coming out carrying the belt. Oh, man, I didn't bring my belt out. I got Thanos this week beside me.
Paul Heyman is awesome.
Thanos is my new sidekick.
What are your dealings with Paul Heyman throughout your years in the business?
We hijacked the hotel with him.
Is this where he like kidnapped a woman and chained her and all that stuff?
No, I didn't really have a lot to do with Paul. I always liked him commentating my matches because I always thought he got my gimmick.
He's great.
Especially when I was heel Hurricane. And even when I was a babyface, you know, I like when he talked out there. I never had too much business dealings with him.
What about creatively?
No, there was one time. No, because he was never on creative when I was there.
Well, I mean, just you know what he's done. I mean, what do you think about him as a creative mind?
Oh, I think he's great, man. I think he finds people's strengths.
That's what I was gonna say.
And utilizes them and shit they can't do. Like that's something I tell people all the time in the fucking business when I'm trying to help them. If there's something you can't do,
don't do it.
Don't fucking do it. And so he's good at people, you know, he emphasizes the strengths and he tries to eliminate the weaknesses. Yeah, exactly. Sandman, New Jack. Yeah.
I mean, even guys like Rob Van Dam, Sabu. I mean, all them guys. He just took guys. And I say this is not an insult towards any of them because everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses. But like
except for me,
you're right.
All strengths.
But you see some of them guys when they went onto other companies and they didn't book them right, they made them look bad.
Right.
You know, Spike Dudley. You know, the way Spike Dudley looks, Paul found the right thing for him to do where he got over. You know, you put him in the WWE, you take all that silly shit off of him, and you try to make him work out. He's just another little scrawny guy that looks like Garth from Wayne's World.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Paul was great. I like what he did. I always like this stuff, you know.
And, you know, people say all this stuff about him telling lies and stuff like that. I worked for him for...
We, at Comic-Con last year, not this year, but, 2010, I guess. We were out there, and, I forgot I had like a couple hours to waste before I had to end up going to the airport, and we were out, I think we had like a lunch or something. We just kind of bullshitting. And he had a couple hours to waste too, and we were just sitting out there and we're bored as shit, man. We didn't really have nowhere to go. And I was like, man, I still got the key to this fucking room. I said, they didn't kick me out of here, but we can go up there and just sit until somebody shows up. And I said, let me go check it out. So I went and checked to see if it still worked. And we were just chilling in that room, you know, like instead of out, you know, at the bar or some shit, we were just chilling in the room. And then, like, when the people finally showed up a couple hours later, they opened the door.
People that rented it for the night that night.
Yeah, the people whose room it belongs to. And I'm leaving something. There's another reason why I had the key, because it wasn't my room to begin with. That's what it was. Because I was originally going to leave a day earlier, and I decided to stay a couple of days just to hang out with friends. And I was waiting for my buddies to show up, and so I had somebody else's room, and they'd already checked out, but I had their key, and that's what it was. And then people came and opened the door and was like, "Excuse me," and they're like, "Oh, we must have the wrong room." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, don't worry about it." And so then they took off, and we waited a couple minutes till we knew they were gone, and then we had to get our shit real quick and get the fuck out of there. But anyway, man, back to Raw. I thought that segment was powerful, and then here's AJ's music, her skipping down. And I completely lost interest.
All right, here's me watching it this morning. I'm watching this shit. I told you I was all excited when Paul came out, seeing Punk, and Punk did the thing with the ref, and AJ's music hit, and here's me.
So you agree?
Yeah, I just fast.
And it's not even that she's a bad character. I just don't like her as GM. It's a total disconnect for me that the position of power is in
to a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, and I know she's older than that, and that's a joke I always make. You know, but she does look
like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, she looks like a 12-year-old girl. God bless her genetically, because that's going to come in handy
when she's 40.
Yeah, she's 40. But I just don't buy it. And then you got these powerful figures in the ring, these powerful personalities, and they have to cater down to what is perceptionally, a very young child looking girl.
I agree 100%. And I've said this before. I think that whole heel GM having one of your talents be the GM, I think they've just done that to death.
Yeah, it's definitely been done to death. But I think what it is they know that AJ's a good character and they want to keep her around, so they're trying to figure out a way to give her TV time and stuff like that. But I just don't like her as a GM.
How about being a girl wrestler?
Even then, she's so tiny, nothing she does looks that believable to me. Unless it's with another teeny tiny girl. So
I guess.
And speaking of Eve is on a roll. That's my favorite. That's my favorite Eve.
I know you like her.
I like some Eve, man. Athletically, she's badass. She just got engaged too. I mean, she trains in jiu-jitsu. Athletically, she's bad.
So she'll beat your ass on top of that.
She'll beat your ass, And,
Did you see?
She looks like a woman, and maybe, and I guess
she does.
It could be personal preference, but I think the greatest divas we ever had, whether it was Lita, Trish Stratus, I could go on and on, were women. Sable, Tori Wilson, they were women. They didn't look like little girls. They weren't like these little model girls. They looked like women.
Sable that was just legit. I mean, it wasn't the fact that she was fucking beautiful, but I mean, just when she get out there and work, she put her hair in that big ponytail and go out. I mean, she knew how to look like she was in there wrestling. I mean, not just out there fucking around like half of them do.
Trish, even when Trish was first started, and she was still, young age-wise, and she still just looked like a woman. The little short, teeny, tiny, I don't know who's got the pedophile fetish there, or the young schoolgirl fetish, but I don't have it. So, and that's just a personal thing. It might be just.
And the funny thing that people don't realize that all it takes is one motherfucker in that office that's in charge that's got something like that, and that's why you'll have 20 of them on the roster.
Well, the rumor is that AJ has somebody in that creative that's her buddy. Ooh. But that's that rumor mill.
They probably all do.
You didn't hear it from me.
Did you see where Gail Kim married that dude from Food Network?
Yeah.
That big musclehead British guy?
I don't know who it is. I never watched the show.
Robert Irvine.
No idea.
He's a big motherfucker too, man. He's fucking gassed.
There you go. He cooks with gas?
I don't know. He's British. He's got a couple of different cooking shows on there.
What about cooking with that gas?
He's probably 60 years old. I don't know how old she is, but
he's 60 years old?
He's young. There's a damn age difference there for sure. But hey, whatever works for him.
Well, how the hell did we get on this?
Because you were talking about girls, and I said Gail Kim.
Oh.
And she being a girl.
The girls actually had a decent little diva match that night. What else went on? Oh, show's still in match. Did you watch Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston?
Yes. Very good.
That shit's on time now. That Dolph
Vicky Guerrero is awesome.
Vicky Guerrero, love her. I could deal with her in the GM role a lot better, even though it's been done and we don't need to kind of go back to that.
Probably. I mean, she knows how to be a heel.
She's a great heel. It's amazing too the amount of tag matches we're getting. Getting a lot of tag team matches going on.
That brings me on another subject that I want to ask you about. But to continue talking about Raw, Mick Foley and CM Punk segment was awesome too.
Man, when two guys great on the mic, you can't do better storytelling than that.
Well, I never really thought of Mick Foley as I know he was all right. He'd go out there and talk, but I paid attention to him, and he's really good with the mic.
You never noticed that before?
Well, I knew he was good, but I didn't realize he was that good.
Oh man, yeah, no, he's great.
I mean, he can go out there and talk and cut a promo, and I don't know how much of that was rehearsed or whatever, but I mean, there's just that feeling that they're going back and forth, and that shit's not rehearsed or whatever. They're speaking in character from the heart.
I got to get a clip. I had to get Mick's permission to use it in the show when me and Mick did the Mr. Miyagi Daniel-san clip. Did you ever see that?
Probably. I don't know.
It's an adult comedy situation, but it's fucking pretty funny.
Mick Foley's an awesome guy too. He's one of the nicest guys you'll meet.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And he's got he'd come around. He wasn't full time when I was working for WWE, but he was the only person in this business that I could ever think of to call me Jack.
Jacked up.
He'd just call me Jack. I'd walk in, shake my hand. Hey, Jack. Okay.
What's up, Jack?
I'd go.
Did he ever do that?
Yeah, probably.
And that would fit too with his bang bang. What's up, Jack? Where was that from? Oh, that's the Seinfeld thing.
But I couldn't. He'd always say it and always catch me off guard because nobody ever called me that. I mean, even guys up there would.
Were you
Mike.
jacked up at this time?
Yeah, but I mean, just I don't know. Everybody called me Mike.
First name Jack, last name Dup.
Some people would call me Dup.
Did anybody ever call you Jack Ass?
Yes. My wife.
Your wife? At all times?
At all times. That's where I got the name Jack. That stuck. Ass.
Speaking of ass, look at that word.
That's a turd cutter for you there, boy.
Man, don't say that, man. I don't know. I like them words, man, when you describe my delicious ass. Good Lord.
What about TNA?
TNA, hold up, man. We done with Raw? I need to make notes of what I like because I thought it was a decent show. I like the tag team situation coming together.
The King was back.
The King was back. That was hilarious. I love he's already back joking. He's got a pimp ass room. I don't know if that was in his house.
I think he moved. I don't think he lives in that same house that he lived in.
But whatever it was, that motherfucker had a big throne and all kinds of shit.
He had all that shit in his. Did you ever go to his house in Memphis?
No.
He had a den or whatever, and that shit was all in there.
Man, I got a Thanos action figure and I got Jeff Hardy artwork though. That's priceless. But I was like, man, I've never done that in my house. Put up a shrine like for my career, and the waitress keeps wanting me to do it, and I just haven't done it. Look, I got a Thor action figure, Muhammad Ali. I got everything around here, but I just don't never put up shit myself. I need to though. I saw that King's room. I was like, man, that's some cool shit.
He didn't look bad for a guy that had a heart attack 2 weeks ago, but you could see what he's been through on his face. Could you not tell? Yeah.
I mean, that's a hell of a deal to go through.
Did you see where they said there was like 1 in 200 people survived that?
Yeah, that's fucking pretty rough. My buddy Raven, not the Raven from ECW, but I got another friend named Raven just had a similar deal out in LA.
He pulled through it.
Yeah, he pulled through it, but had to get the procedure in his heart and all kind of shit. Boy.
Now I heard a lot of crazy stories or rumors or whatever that he was clinically dead for 20 minutes. I don't think that shit's true. I think I heard him say 1 minute, which is more.
Well, I didn't believe that either. When I heard clinically dead for 20 minutes, I don't think he come back from shit like that.
If you do, you're a I got brain damage and all that kind of shit. So.
But, TNA is putting on some of the best wrestling going on.
I love it. I love the show. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's closer to being what I consider a pro wrestling product.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they do better in the ratings? Why don't they draw better at their live events?
I mean, well, keep in mind, Spike TV doesn't have the exposure that USA does.
Well,
even when WWE went to Spike, their ratings suffered.
Well, you got that rating too is also different based on how many households it's available in. Is that right? Like if you draw a certain rating on ABC, that's not the same as drawing that same rating on USA Network. Because everybody that's got a TV with a set of rabbit ears can get ABC, but everybody has to have cable to get USA Network. So
I want to say I don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now.
I'm saying a 3.0 on one of the networks is more people than a 3.0 on a cable station.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. What brings me up, I mean, is TNA had a live event in Raleigh this weekend, and I actually started to go, but there was a conflict.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah, Florida State was playing at the same time.
How'd your beloved Florida State do? Are they still fucking mauling people?
They mauled Clemson.
Oh yeah, they did. What about my Wolfpack? I was on the road.
They mauled the Citadel.
Who?
The Citadel. Whatever.
Hey,
Win's a win.
Enhancement talent. You got it in college football too.
They had a jobber match. But yeah. Back to my Seminoles and that. The TNA they were in the that new Raleigh amphitheater. Have you seen that?
Uh-huh.
They drew like 400 pages. That boggles me. Your thoughts?
I don't know.
Master Jedi.
I didn't advertising promotion. I mean, they got the talent to get people there, and I think once people go to a TNA show, they generally want to go back a second time. But I live 20 minutes from there, and I didn't know about it. I could walk there. You could walk there, and I didn't know.
Go out my front yard and throw a rock and probably hit one of them. I didn't know about it until Friday. The show was on Saturday. But that's not very good. That's not even a good house for an indie show. Well, 400 people. But for a place like that, I don't know what it costs to get.
But I don't think they come here a lot either. So I mean, it's one of those things too. Like whenever you go to a new territory, a new market,
you got to build the town.
Yeah, you got to build the town. I mean, WWE. Like I know there's a couple of the promoters, people that worked in promotion I knew very well, and they would tell me some of the strategies. You go into a town, like you don't worry about the attendance the first couple of shows. You want to go in there and you just want to do good and slowly build it and put out a good product, and that's how you grow it, and that's how it happens. So I mean, I know they don't come to Raleigh a lot.
Well,
hardly if ever.
I'm assuming I watched their show, and I don't remember seeing that date advertised on the show unless I just missed it. But certainly they would advertise it on house shows, right? on TV?
I would think so.
I mean, I would have thought Raleigh would have caught my eye. And I watch the show every week.
Yeah, I don't know all the business practices, but.
And I can tell you.
But then again, I don't listen to radio either. So I mean, it could have been blasted on the radio, and I just didn't hear it, you know. But I didn't.
I think not.
You listen to radio?
I just think I just think there would have been more than 400 people there if they had really got it out there.
I don't know.
But I wish them well, and that brings me something. I hear Devon's gone.
That's the rumor.
And I hear Bubba.
That's the rumor. I think Bubba resigned.
Is that done?
As far as I know.
Because that put an end to one of my theories.
You and your conspiracy theory.
No, I was just, you know, you look at a guy like Devon, he's the television champion, also gone. And it makes you wonder, you know, I'm sure, you know, basically what I heard about it was his contract was up and they couldn't agree on a new one.
Right.
Now that tells me what either he wanted too much, they wanted to give him too little, or he just wanted to leave.
One of those
three, probably. Which one would you think?
It was probably a money deal.
Like, you think they offered him less than he was making, or do you think he signed a lower contract with the agreement of?
I know they have restructured a lot of the way they're doing their contracts there, and I don't want to go into details. But people I've spoken with, I know they're restructuring the way they do some things.
Guys aren't happy with it. Maybe.
Apparently not. There's been an exodus of. I mean, this year alone, I bet they've lost 6 or 7 people.
Well, I question. I mean,
I hate the gut check too. I try to like it, and actually this week wasn't as bad.
I like that kid.
Yeah, he wasn't bad, but I don't want to see. You know, I want to see stars.
People stepping over.
Yeah, I want to see people that are ready to be. I don't want to watch American Idol. I don't give a fuck about that contest shit no more. I want to see people that are already stars out there performing.
Now, I'll say this about that kid, and I know you've accused me of being a body guy.
Body guy.
But that kid seemed like he had the talent to, start a career.
Now, have I accused you of being a body guy?
Well, let me clarify.
Because I know but you are a body guy, so you can't say I accused you of that without acknowledging.
Yeah,
that
but
you
I'll
are
clarify. I don't think bodybuilders equal entertainment.
Cool.
David Otunga.
Woo!
All right. He might make a great bodybuilder. The motherfucker ought to find something else to do besides wrestling. And I don't know this guy. He might be the nicest guy in the world. I'm just giving my opinion from watching him on TV.
I'll tell you this about him real quick. I got a text from another guy in the business, a DM, I should say. It was like, I sure hope that David Otunga was better at being a lawyer than he is at wrestling. And I go, well, you notice his ass ain't in a courtroom, and he's in a fucking wrestling ring.
He's good at lifting weights. Stick with that.
He's still so young. I know I jab on him out. But my problem with him is he doesn't seem like he's getting better. That's my problem with anybody. What we do is hard, and I respect that, and I respect the fact that not everybody's going to be good. Because if it was easy, everybody would be good. It's not easy. It's fucking very difficult. That's why not everybody's good. What I don't like is when people aren't getting better. If you're out there with some of the best in the world, which he is,
yeah, he
should be getting better. I would be out there working fucking garbage, and I was getting better. Anyway, what did you deal with the gut check?
That
kid was like 18 though.
Yeah, but you can't put somebody on TV regularly that looks like that.
Yeah.
I don't care how good they are. Being on TV too, or any other kind of entertainment, you got to admit one of the first things there is what do you look like?
Right.
You got to look good on TV. And there's a lot of people that have gotten jobs, whether it be on a cooking show or a talk show or something, just because they look good on TV.
Of course.
And there's a lot of people that are talented that have to fucking work in radio. Perfect face for radio.
That's why we do video pods.
That's right. Because it is.
It's all here.
See that?
That's one of Vince McMahon's. Did you ever get that line from Vince? Here's where you make your money. And I said, but Vince, I wear a mask. He goes, here's where you make your money.
No, but I did get this line from him. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
I want to make a character with Shark Boy, and we're gonna call him Fins McMahon. And he's gonna hire everybody. You're hired, and we're gonna have to keep stopping him from hiring people.
You just come up with this shit, don't you?
Hey man, that's what I do, man. That's what I do.
Oh man.
But the Divas knockout division, yeah, enough of that gut check shit. The fact that they didn't hire Scorpio Sky and Willie Mack just pisses me off. Because those two, but you remember Willie Mack with the big afro?
Yeah.
And Scorpio Sky is talented as fuck.
Dude.
They didn't hire those guys. What they did was they started too high. They peaked because they had like two of the fucking best indie talents out there. Haven't hired them, and now we got to watch guys that aren't as good.
I got somebody with my favorite finishing move in the business.
What's that?
Sanjay Dutt.
That fucking flipping gut stomp?
Damn. It's my favorite move as long as I don't have to take it.
Yeah. They
He fucking nails it though, don't he? That looks like something out of.
Was that this past week that he worked Hairspray Boy?
I watched 2 shows that I taped, and it was one of them. It's either the last week or the week before.
That Sanjay athletically is talented. That damn double stomp. I don't know how it doesn't kill you.
Remember the Fish Man in
Yeah.
World Class? He would do it, but he'd just jump straight off of there and do it. I've had people do it like Kevin Sullivan style to me. Where they just run up and stomp on you and that fucking shit hurts.
Right on your face?
Right on your damn solar plexus. That motherfucker comes off the top, does a backflip, and something, I mean, I don't know how much he weighs. He's got to weigh 210 or something. Coming from...
I don't know if he's 210.
Whatever. Taking that
That's
fucking
impressive.
file cabinet right there and dropping it on your belly from the top.
And then when it wasn't a finish, I just said, God.
Yeah, what else can you do?
Yeah, fuck that. As far as the knockouts go, Tara, Lisa Marie, turn heel. I like that.
The crowd, did you notice the crowd didn't go with it?
Sometimes it takes time.
It takes time.
CM Punk case. What I didn't like this past week is then he had Brooke come out there and Tara ran away. I didn't like that because Tara is fucking bigger than those
Twice
girls.
her size.
She should have just kicked her right in the fucking face.
I like, the heels have to put the baby faces up. But there's something to be said about them badass heels like Vader.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Vader run?
Especially when you got in a knockouts division, you're not going to have a lot of them. And for the guys, it's different because there's a ton of big badass guys, so you can play around with that. But in that knockouts division, other than ODB, I got to say Tara is going to be the most powerful one out there.
She's in
big.
great shape, but she's just tall. She's a...
Yeah, she looks like she kick your ass.
She kicked that ass.
And as far as the tag team division, Kazarian and Daniels are doing great. Their backstage stuff is almost good as their matches.
That's one of the things, too. I love the way they walk around with those martinis or whatever.
Appletinis.
Yeah.
That Daniels is insane. He's hilarious, man.
But they, the backstage, is Jason Hervey the one that's directing all the backstage stuff? I heard that. But the way they do it, I mean, that stuff just looks legit.
Yeah.
It doesn't look all screwy with the camera going like this in and out, people standing there.
Is Aces of Eights taking too long to develop for you?
I would sound hypocritical if I said yeah, because I come out here and say take your time with the angles.
I'm not. If the rest of the show wasn't good, maybe so, but the rest of the show is great, so I can deal with it. Taking.
Well, I will say this about it. I do look forward to watching the show every week to see where they're going with it, which is what you're supposed to do, right?
Yep.
Now that Claire Lynch thing,
hated.
That didn't
Do you
work
think that Johnny Ace is behind the Aces of Eights?
Would he be the Eights or the Aces?
He'd be
the
Ace.
Jack Ace.
Johnny Ace. What would eights mean?
That's a dead man's hand. The crazy 88s.
H is the 8th letter in the alphabet. If you got 2 H's, that'd be eights.
So he's got 3. Oh, what's in Triple H?
Maybe Hulk Hogan's behind it.
But Aces and Eights is the
conspiracy theory.
That's the Wild Bill.
I know what it means, but why would you name them that? I know where the fuck it came from originally, but I'm talking about
do you know who those
how
dudes
does it
are?
pertain? Yeah.
Are we supposed to stooge that on the air?
It's not.
Okay. You can tell me when the show's over.
It's not. Well, one of them's overly obvious who it is on the show. You can't watch the show and figure out who one of them is. Then you need to be scared.
Okay, we don't want to stooge out their stuff. Okay.
Watch the show. I don't like to do spoilers and stuff like that.
Okay.
As far as the MMA, no. Before we say that, I did love Bubba and Austin Aries match too. Yeah. Austin Aries in-ring work right now. As far as just in-ring stuff, him and Dolph Ziggler are the 2 best things in the business right now.
I stand corrected. I stand corrected on the Austin Aries. But to me, this is about as good as it gets. I stand corrected on Austin Aries. I was against putting the strap on him. And I don't know that I would let him keep it forever. But he's carrying the load. And I don't mean that. I mean, everybody knows, he can go in there and bump and do all the damn moves and stuff. I'm talking about as a character.
Yeah.
A believable character that looks like somebody that should be in a top spot.
Yeah, he talks. He's got it all.
And he's got to work harder to do that when you're his size.
Way harder.
Yeah, than if he's the size of Hulk Hogan. Way harder. So Austin Aries,
thumbs up from the
sorry
big
for
daddy.
doubting you. Doing a great job.
Coming around. See, this is what I'm doing. I'm educating people. Never too old to learn.
Well, you can't have prejudices in this business.
Yes, you can. A lot of people do.
Yeah, but you can't go out there. If you ever read that book I gave you from that dude, fixing the bronies or fixing
I
anything.
threw that fucking book in the garbage.
Yeah,
no, actually, I still did.
All right, but look, I agree with a lot of what he says and the shit he cracks on. It's funny. But you can't make definitive statements and say, okay, a 400-pound fat ass should never be in wrestling.
No, it's not true.
You know, you can't, because maybe everybody in wrestling shouldn't be a 400-pound fat ass, but you can't go back and say the one-man gang, Yokozuna, the big
Bundy.
guys like, yeah, Bundy. Wow.
Props to, man, do you follow him on Twitter?
No.
He's hilarious.
No, but I used to follow this shit.
You got to follow him on Twitter. I'll tell you what it is.
I was making a joke the other day about how when Barry Windham, remember when Barry Windham would do the symbol for the Four Horsemen? He'd always do it like this.
No, that was Pillman. I guess Barry too, but Pillman had fucking arthritis.
Yeah.
His shit be all like that.
But then I said when he would call for the claw, that was Chuck pointed this out. So when he called for the claw, he'd do it like this. Chuck said, yeah, he looked like King Kong.
Chuck Coates, real quick, while we mentioned Chuck, the Chinlock for Chuck show is going to be in January. We're still playing with the date. We've announced a date, but we might manipulate that date. Nothing's set in stone. Any talent out there that wants to help us do this show, contact me. You guys got to know how to contact me by now. Now I just want to throw that in there.
All right, yeah. All right, I put a date out there yesterday based on a meeting I had with the school, but we found out last minute that a couple of the talents we want on the show, which are some heavy hitters, there's been a change in their schedule because they work for some of the bigger companies, and they might not be available, and to us it's worth moving the date so we can get them.
Yeah. So we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
But once we find that out, we'll get that out to you. Also, on that same vein, I will be doing a show in Clayton, North Carolina, in December for autism, and I'll get you guys more details on that. I've always been think autism is probably one of the most misunderstood, misdiagnosed conditions.
Is Jimmy Cicero know you're doing?
No, but I will contact him because I know he's big on it. But I've Hermie Sadler talked to him just yesterday. He might come, so we're gonna try to make it a big deal. You know, nothing wrong with doing it. And Mike's actually spearheading the Chuck thing, man. So I know I've already thanked you for doing that, but thanks again.
And I'm handling all the building, the book, and Chuck's brother David Coates is helping too. A lot of other people have volunteered to help. I want to say this to the wrestlers out there: we've had 1 million people volunteer to come wrestle on the show, and obviously we can't use all, you know, unless the show is going to be 3 days long. We're not going to be able to use everybody that volunteered to work. We appreciate it. If Shane's going to book the card, we're going to start with the bigger name guys and work our way down. If you
he put that heat on me that I get to decide who.
I don't want to call up people I ain't seen in 10 years and ask them to do a freebie. But,
yeah,
hey,
but if we don't use you, it ain't personal. It's just we're going to try to.
Just keep in mind that this show is not about us. We're not making money off of it. The talent's all doing the show for free. This money's going to Chuck. Most of y'all out there know him. You know what a great guy he is. You want to help him out. If you can't get booked on the show, please buy a couple of tickets and just come.
Yeah.
You know, sit out in the crowd. That's the best thing you can do. This is almost a 900-seat capacity building. I want to sell it out. You know, if you're a wrestler and you come, bring your gear. If there's a cancellation, let us know you're there. We'll pull you in. You know, we could use you, but if nothing else, you know, come bring some people with you. Sit out there in the crowd, buy a couple of tickets, help us sell this thing out.
We might throw one of those old school battle royals, man.
Any wrestlers
we might throw a battle royal and just put you in there.
But probably not.
Put you in there.
But I got to tell you about something here in a minute too. That you don't think's funny. But seriously, if you can help us sell tickets. Don't take it as an insult if we can't use you. Maybe we'll do these shows down the road, make some money, and other people can work.
Yeah, that's the very thing. This is for Chuck. It ain't about us. Not going to be out there, trying to win championships and shit like that. We're going to put on a good show. I'm not worried about putting on a good show.
That's the easy part.
That's the easy part. The talent we have, we can do that. We want to raise money for Chuck, and that's what it's about.
By the way, I'm booked in my first wrestling match in over 10 years.
When and where, and more importantly, why?
I'll tell you about the why after we go off the air. But
okay.
It's a Dutch reunion.
Oh shit! There we go.
It's October the 20th. It's
it's soon.
Yeah, which really gives me a lot of time to try to get in shape for it. Fortunately, it's a tag team match. Yeah, I'm just trying not to.
Dolce diet, baby.
Mhm.
DDP yoga.
Let me take them yoga tapes home.
Tapes.
Yeah, you know what they are.
The DVDs.
Yeah. Because I got to
Old
do
school.
something quick. Because I don't want to go out there and have to be rushed out of there in an ambulance.
What else was I gonna say real quick? We get sidetracked like we got no like pattern for.
That's what keeps the spontaneity alive.
It's very
man.
spontaneous.
Don't ruin the
And
spontaneity.
then we just forget. What's that medicine I take to help my memory?
You told me to drink this.
But you are more focused.
Yeah, but I'm also jittery. So what does that mean?
What else we got going on? Oh yeah, MMA. I want to throw out real quick. Strike Force got canceled. Another major MMA event canceled because of a weak undercard that couldn't support when the main event gets.
So what do you mean it got canceled? The paper
That shit's out.
They just said, fuck it, ran enough advance on it.
Yep,
So it's done.
it's 2 in the last month by Zuffa. Zuffa owns UFC and Strike Force.
How many different major UFC or MMA companies are there?
Strike Force and UFC are the 2 major, and they're both owned by Zuffa, which is kind of like saying the McMahons own WWE and WCW. Then you got Bellator, I guess would be probably the
Is that the name of the company or is that somebody's name?
Bellator is the name of the company.
Okay.
They'll be on. They got a show. They actually do a great stuff. They're actually going to be on Spike, and they got a deal with TNA, and that's where you'll see King Mo Lawal come from. King Mo Lawal signed with them, and then he's going to do TNA stuff as well.
Which one was booking Kimbo Slice?
That was a Strike Force.
And there wasn't no money in him?
That was Elite XC. Actually, that was Elite XC. Then they went under, and I seem to think he did Strike Force. Elite XC was the one that was really counting on Kimbo to be their ticket seller. He was selling tickets, but
What fucked him up? That little dude beat
getting
him
knocked the fuck out
by Seth Petrelli?
by Seth Petruzzelli. With a fucking chin check, like little jab punch too.
Remember, what was that? Was I the one that said the little guys can't hit hard enough to get the big guys off of them?
Some shit like that.
Yeah. How'd that work out for Kimbo?
Not too good.
It's a big difference in fighting a pro and beating up some goofball in the backyard.
Yeah, it's a big difference. That was one of Dana's lines. There's a difference between being the toughest guy at the barbecue and being a legit professional fighter.
Didn't that go back to what we were talking about earlier?
Oh, yeah.
Being the toughest guy in 1901 is different than being the toughest guy in the 1996
We weren't talking about
Olympics.
that on the show. We're talking about it downstairs. Yeah, but I am reading this book, Hooker. Mike is right. It's not about prostitutes, unfortunately, but it's about Luthez, one of the greatest names in our business. It's actually very good, and I'm still working on it.
You know what I like?
You got to read The God Delusion, though. I don't want to get too religious heavy, but man, that's some good shit.
That sounds blasphemous to me, like something you'll get me in spiritual trouble for.
No, man.
That book, Hooker, though, I mean, Shane and I, a couple other
Spiritual
guys,
trouble.
go back and forth about how legit these turn-of-the-century badasses that claim to be all that were versus, because they were fucking carny workers just like all the rest of us.
Yeah.
But the book is great because it's a history lesson. And there's another book out there, I'm reading it right now. It's called Wrestling to Wrestling. And it don't hold a candle to Lou's book because Lou's book was a first-hand account. I mean, he was there.
Right.
He was in the business. This other book was written by a couple of nerds that can fancy themselves wrestling historians.
I think I'll call you Nerd Alert.
Nerds!
Cool.
Where are we at now?
We're doing good, man. We're going to be right back. We're going to go to a short commercial, and we'll be right back with the animal, Dave Bautista, I think. RF Video is where you go to get all your shoot video needs. And we're back. Thanks everybody for sticking with us. Once again, I thank highspots.com for all your merchandise paraphernalia you need in wrestling, DVDs, action figures, masks. They actually supply me with my elbow pads, my kick pads. These are the guys that go to highspots.com. Don't forget figure4apps.com, the producers of the Shane Event iPhone app. And we just signed a deal, but we haven't put ink to paper yet, but there's been a verbal agreement with another major company that will be producing an app for them. It's going to make wrestling fans very happy. Also got to thank RF Video. And let's go to this really short commercial before we bring in the animal.
Shop Matt Hardy, your place for all your official Matt Hardy merchandise. Stronger Than Death t-shirts, wristbands, autographed 8x10s, and limited edition memorabilia. The website offers a user-friendly layout, and we accept all major credit cards as well as PayPal. Keep coming back. I got a family to feed.
There's that Matt Hardy. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can see on the screen, from Florida, former world champion, former world heavyweight champion, WWE champion. I don't even know the difference between those belts, but he had both of them several times. Huge name. One of the biggest stars to ever go to Manila. I'm telling you, I went to Manila with this guy. He could have walked on water in there. I ain't never seen nobody that over. Dave, welcome to the show. Thanks for doing it. The Animal Dave Bautista.
Yeah. It's good to be here, man. Thanks for having me on.
Are you going to be the animal in MMA? Is there a gimmick in MMA as well?
I don't know, man. Kind of go out there and do my thing. You know, I'm not like super aggressive when it comes to fighting. I like to go and feel things out a little bit. You know.
I'm talking about as far as the gimmick. You know, is it
no, I'm not gonna be any. No, I'm not gonna be any real gimmicks. Just kind of be myself and try to get through it.
Gotcha.
When you look like that, you don't need gimmicks.
When you can just walk out there and be Bautista. Well,
Yeah.
Bautista's a cool name anyway.
Walk out and compete, man. No gimmicks. No gimmicks needed.
But Bautista's a cool name anyway. That's
a machine gun or something.
when your name's John Smith, you need a gimmick. But when your name's Bautista, that sounds like a gimmick anyway. But how's training going?
It's going good, man. We're in like last 4 days of training, so I'm pretty much just done, man. Just kind of beat up and just looking forward to those days to rest up, recuperate, and get ready for the fight.
Yeah, you're just ready for the bell to ring, huh?
Yeah, man. I'm over it, man. Like I'm over all this training. I'm just dog tired, beat up. And all I want to do now is just sleep, man. Sleep. I want to wake up when the bell rings and do my thing for 15 minutes and go to the after party. I'm already at the after party.
But the one thing I got to commend you on, I like the fact that you don't have to do this. It's not like you're fighting for money or anything. It's just you want to do it, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do an MMA fight." I love that. I love that fact about it.
That's what a lot of people they don't get, man. They think it's some kind of ulterior motive, but it's not. It's just I really want to do this like for the experience, and so I won't have to look back and say, "Man, I wish I had tried it." You know, so I'm not really looking to get anything out of it. I'm definitely not going to become rich doing this. And you know, I may get my head pounded. And I've definitely got my head pounded in through training, but it's just the whole experience of the thing, and to be able to go out and say I did. You know, I mean, I'm 20 years too late to the dance now. But, you know, at least I can say that one day I can say at least, well, you know, I did it. I gave it a shot. And it was a great experience, win or lose, you know.
I think in a way, to me, that's more respectful than going out there.
I know a lot of people, they're not real open-minded, so they don't really see it that way, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. I just, you know, I'm doing it for me.
Hey, you only live once, man.
Just for the experience, really.
That's tremendous. You know, I mean, I remember when you know, whenever Brock left the WWE and he wanted to go play football, I know there's a lot of guys in the locker room that gave him heat, you know, for that, or they.
Right.
But I think a lot of that was, you know, personal, you know, insecurities in their own career. But I was one of the guys that went up to Brock and said, "Man, I think it's cool that you're going to go try to play football."
I thought it was insane, dude. I was like, good for him, man.
Yeah.
It is. It's crazy. I mean, you know, it's those are things that I tell people. You got. I mean, if you have a dream, something you're passionate about, and you want to try, but why at least give it a shot? You know, don't just let it ride by you and just not try.
Yeah, dreams are easy. Everybody has a dream. I mean, I dream every fucking night, and sometimes I don't even want to. But like to get out, and I've known Mike, you know, basically all my life. I went after the pro wrestling dream when I was 13, and when people ask me like, "How do you make it?" It's like I fucking went after. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, chase it. Man.
Yeah, Vince, you know, Ted Turner didn't come and give me that WCW contract. I had to go find that motherfucker, you know.
Now, see, you bring back some names: Brock, Dave, me, Shelton, Randy Orton, John Cena. That was the damn Louisville crew, wasn't it, Dave?
Yeah, first class of OVW. Yeah.
Damn, boy. Those were the days now.
What happened to you, man?
Yeah, really.
And jacked up.
Yeah, jacked up. Mike Hard, that was my name.
I'm gonna put a picture up of Mike, so when you watch his back, you can see. Look at your ass. That was jacked up right there.
I was in better shape than that when I was in Louisville. I was leaner.
Man.
What do you want, Dave? Can cut some weight, hadn't you, from your wrestling days?
I'm about 265.
What were you in OVW? 290?
Oh God, OVW. No, I was around 3. I was all steady around 3, maybe 315.
Yeah, you're shredded right there. And I don't know if you can see that pic he's got up.
No, he can't see it. He'll see it on the finished product. But yeah, I got a double bi pose. I mean, you got your pants all down low, getting your sexy on.
Get the abs up there.
Yeah. It's cool. Is Iron Fist out yet? When's that?
Yeah, Man with the Iron Fist comes out November 2nd.
November 2nd.
I did see the
Premieres
trailer.
in New York on the 22nd of October.
Yeah,
But I'm sure that's one of the things I want to get this fight out of the way with, so I can kind of focus on that and do some media for that. Because I'm so excited about this movie.
Now, how did that come about? Did you know RZA before?
No, I actually, we both knew Meth, because Meth always came to the shows all the time. And, I know you're a Wu-Tang fan. I was definitely a Wu-Tang fan. But I actually met RZA through my boy Maurice Crump. Remember Crump? He used to come on the road with me and train. And then RZA was looking for somebody to play this character called Brass Body, which I play in the movie. And he saw a video of me doing Kali with Maurice. And he was familiar with me from wrestling, but he didn't know I was into martial arts. So he, contacted Maurice and asked if he'd get in touch with me and bring, could we go out to LA to meet him? And, Maurice said, fill me in. He said, I think RZA wants you to play this part in this movie. And I was like, no way. So we went out to LA and I hooked up with him and Meth. And he offered him, he was sizing me up the whole time. And I was so excited. I was like a little kid, all excited to meet him. But he kept sizing me up and he was taking pictures of us, like standing back to back and shoulder to shoulder and sizing me up. And then he offered me the part in the movie because basically I play his nemesis in the movie. So that's how I got the part. And we became real tight, man. We hung out a lot. We still hang out a lot. But he's a good dude, man. I can't say enough good things about that dude.
I got a picture of him posted from entertainmentweekly.com. You two guys together. You in an aqua blue t-shirt. If you remember the
Yeah, we were out showing that Comic-Con.
How tall is that dude? He looks tall. Damn, what are you, Dave? 6'4"?
Yeah, no, he's tall. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's a big dude.
He just came off of Californication. He was on there this past season. Did really good on there. And that Comic-Con, I knew you were there. We were like texting back and forth, but we'd never run into each other.
Right.
And I was at a party on the fucking rooftop somewhere, and I look up there, and the RZA's on stage, and I was like, that shit was. And when they started doing Cream, man, I was going fucking crazy. And then we ended up hanging out a little bit.
I met Method Man one night. He was a lot taller than.
He's a big dude too.
Yeah, it was him and Fred Durst, and Fred Durst is about 4 feet tall. And they were together, and Method Man he's skinny, but he's tall. I was like, damn, dude, I know you that tall.
Yeah, Wu-Tang was a lot bigger than most of the rap crews I've ever seen. I mean, just as far as size-wise.
They're all big dudes, man.
Here's a good story for you. When this was, I don't even remember the year, but we're walking in a mall here in Raleigh called Crabtree Valley. It's a mall.
Yeah. I know what this is.
I see this guy walk by, and I know him, but this guy hasn't blown up quite as big yet. It was fucking Tupac Shakur.
Oh,
and I'm sitting there telling Mike, I said, man, that's fucking Tupac. And then, he had a big entourage with him.
Yeah, he's got about 6 bodyguards with him that are all about 6'5" and weigh about 320, and they got hand towels on their head with their hats put on over it. And I'm like, Shane, quit looking at that dude, man. Come on. I don't want to fucking get killed up in here.
So then we go into a Champs shoe store, and I'm still trying to tell them, and they walked in, and I was like, oh, there they are. And
the whole time I'm trying not to look at him because I don't want to get shot.
And Mike's not convinced that that's him. And so this whole while he's walking up behind me, but I don't know it. He's just coming over to the area I'm in. And I stick my hand back, and I don't know it, but it's like this far from his fucking face. And I go, I'm telling you, that motherfucker's Tupac.
Yeah, man, what's up?
I was like, hey, man, I'm a big fan. This was after Juice, but he hasn't blown up big. I had
this was right after the Digital Underground days, wasn't it?
Yeah, his first album, Tupacalypse Now, had been out because I had that one. And I was just like. And I still, to this day, I got that autograph in my little scrapbook.
I got that. You got me one. You got it for me, but I still got
Peace
it
to you, Tupac.
Right.
But he was a real tiny cat. He was real small.
Oh, Tupac wasn't big?
No, small.
5'7", 150 pounds.
The whole clan they're all, I think they're averaging like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, them guys.
Dudes, yeah.
Them guys are big. So that comes out November the 7th, you said?
2nd. Yep, November 2nd.
You got 2nd. You got Lucy Liu in there?
Lucy Liu's fine ass in there. Jamie Chung.
Now, did Lucy Liu ever ask about me? Because we go way back. Me and her, we go way back.
She was too busy paying attention to me.
Damn.
So she
Manila all over again.
over you.
Man, we go into these spots in Manila, and I'm telling you, we were as over. Like they could,
Arthur.
if they would have just given us $100 bills at all times. That's the only way we could have been more. If they were just fucking paying us silly money. This motherfucker walks in. It's just ridiculous.
Now, I remember when you did that show. Who promoted that?
No, that wasn't. I'm talking.
Oh,
This
it was
was
WWE.
WWE. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thought you were talking
Packed
about the show
houses.
you did last year.
Oh, is that Lucy? Man, see,
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna just have to cut this interview off right now, man. I'm upset. She's gonna be in the new Sherlock Holmes.
I edited this picture. On the other side of Lucy is RZA.
Uh-huh.
I cropped him out. So it's just,
Why you do that, man? You got to make it look more intimate.
Picture of RZA.
Oh man, you're gonna have to send that to me on my phone, man.
All right.
Is that supposed to be on board?
Yeah.
I'll send you the original version and the crop version.
So and the fight's October the 6th, right?
Yep.
Dave.
10 days from now.
Let me take this title off so that people can see the whole thing.
Right.
Dave Brass Body Bautista.
Yeah, because Universal is one of our sponsors.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go with the whole brass body, man with the Iron Fist theme.
Very good. Against
Promote the movie.
Rashid Smash Evans.
Smash Evans. You know how many people, and it's hard to say his name because everybody automatically thinks Rashad Evans.
Without a doubt.
Rashid Evans, yeah.
So how's training with Bonner been going? I just had Bonner on the show last week.
He left. Yeah, he left last week. You know what was really cool is he was here when we found out that he was fighting Anderson. We were all together, and he had gotten a message calling us, so we found out. And that dude, I mean, we were so excited for him. And that dude was like so excited because he didn't know what was coming up for him, and all of a sudden he's fighting the best fighter in the world.
Did he tell you about the conversation we had on the show?
Shane's taking credit for that booking, by the way.
Now here's exactly what we said on the show. We was talking about him not, first of all, it got off talking about him being the Ultimate Fighter coach he wanted to be, and Dana, for whatever reason, Dana didn't pass on it. And they would have been way better than what's going on this season. I'm watching Shane Carwin and Roy Nelson, and I know it's early in the season, but it's not great TV at the moment.
Right.
So anyway, and then Bonner's talking about one of his stipulations is he doesn't want to fight anybody that has less Twitter followers than he does. And I told him, I said, here's what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to use my mojo. I'm going to get on the Twitter. I'm going to talk to my people, send a message to Dana, and I'm going to get you a big fight. The next day, he gets a call from Dana. Without a doubt, 1,000% coincidence, because that motherfucker had nothing to do with me. But it was just funny that we had the conversation.
But you got to work that angle, though, man.
Yeah, in my mind,
Yeah.
her powers.
And I'm with you on that.
See, the her powers can't be explained. It can't be denied nor explained. I don't know what they are. But that's good for him, man. That's he's got a chance, without a doubt. He's a big boy. He can hit hard. He's talented, all around. He's got a chance.
If he won that fight, that would be really good for him, right?
Yeah.
I see from experience, he hits like you've been kicked by a mule.
Yeah.
He is strong, dude. He's got a real good. I think he's got more than a better chance. I mean, a good chance of winning. And you can't measure heart. That dude's all heart. I keep trying to talk him into going to pro wrestling because he's tailor-made for pro wrestling.
Great talker.
Dude is such a character, man. He's got so much personality. He's obviously athletic, and he's got the credibility to go with it, man. I'm begging him to go into pro wrestling.
Hey, man, if he wants to at least try out with IGF or something like that. I know people that know people, and right. they do MMA hybrid of pro wrestling. So
right.
Now that might be a good way to start, just to see if he likes it. Then if he doesn't like it, then fuck it, you ain't got to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he's who's the guy that we're talking about that Rocky's based on?
The movie Rocky?
Yeah, Rocky is actually based on the guy. That's who we said Stephen Bonner.
I saw that documentary. I can't think of his name.
It was
because he put Ali down one of the few times Ali went down. We're just talking about fuck it, it'll come to me. I'm taking this supplement that helps my memory, but I don't remember shit, so I don't know if it's working.
I'm hitting the head a lot, son.
This is my 23rd year in the business.
All right. 23 years?
Yeah.
Damn.
And the bad thing is he's 25 years old.
Yeah.
Dinosaur.
I am a dinosaur. I go to these indie shows now. I'm the oldest guy in the locker room.
See, you go back. You started during the territory days too, so that makes you old school.
Yeah, just the word territory.
Yeah.
when you can say the word territory and actually know what it means.
Yeah, know what it means.
That's the thing. People, I guess I still kind of look relatively young to some people until you get close and you see all the scars. But, yeah, when I tell them 23, they're like, damn, how old were you when you started? Man, I came out the fetus whooping somebody. Came out the fetus. Doctor smacked me on the ass. I'm still looking for that motherfucker.
I remember you down there at the side of the ring like this.
First time they go like this, when I was 13 years old, small indie company comes to my town of Windham, North Carolina. Big old Jack Dupps over here is on the show. And afterward, he's in the ring, and I stayed out. I'm watching everything. I'm staying around to the end. It's like fucking midnight or something. I should be at home. And got there playing in the ring, and he goes, "Hey, kid, you want to learn some professional wrestling?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
See, back then I probably could have been blackballed for smartening you up.
Yeah. But remember, I got in there. I knew how to lock up. I knew how to run the ropes. I'd never been in the ring before. I had taught myself how to lock up with G.I. Joe men.
That's more nice known to this day.
Man, I just
Where'd you train that, Dave, with the Samoans?
I started with the Wild Samoans, yeah.
That's right.
Started with them, then went over to Cornette and Louisville.
now you tried to go to the power plant, right? And they were kind of dicks down there.
Oh, they ran me out. What's his name? Little half pint.
Buddy Lee Parker.
Buddy Lee Sarge.
Ran me into the ground. Said, "Get out. You'll never be a professional wrestler."
Yeah, boy. A hell of a judge of talent there.
That's fucking dropping the ball a little bit, huh?
Yeah. What would they do down there? Just try to torture you until you fucking left?
Yeah, just like make you do squats and shit all fucking day long.
Oh man. Well, the thing was, I went down there with a buddy of mine. And I was heavy. I was big at the time. I was like 340, and my boy was like 320. And we were just gym rats, man. We just lifted a lot. And we went down. But he jumped right up in our grill, man, and just had us squat until we were throwing up, squatting. And that was it, man. And we couldn't get through it. And it was like, get out. You'll never be a pro wrestler.
You know why he does that shit, don't you? Because he's short.
Is that fucking Napoleon complex?
Yeah, he's fucking short. If that motherfucker was 6 foot tall, he'd be nice.
Right.
Yeah, I've ran into guys, of course, that have the big man complex, but I would always say the little man complex is even worse.
Oh, man.
If you don't quite make 6 foot, then
Oh, you just
bitter.
angry. Yeah,
Bitter
just
for the rest
mad
of your life.
about shit.
All right.
Yeah, he was down there, man. When I got hired, they made me go to the power plant after I got hired to be evaluated. These motherfuckers hired me, and then they wanted to evaluate me after I got hired.
All right.
And so I was just down there for 3 days. But I remember like all these guys doing squats, and I was like, can't y'all just get in shape on your own time and let's learn how to fucking wrestle here?
Learn how to work, man.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I try to help people like train, I was like, man, yeah, you get in shape on your own time. If you ain't got enough heart to show up in shape,
Right.
then don't worry about it. Like I can teach you how to rank, but what they would do would like do all the squats just to make people throw up and quit. Like that shit ain't gonna help you do nothing.
well, I mean, I think they used to do shit like that's like an old school thing where they wanted to weed out the dickheads before they would smarten you up. But everybody was kind of smart back then, you know. I mean, those days were past.
Yeah, but you can't make that. How long was you down there? 1 or 2 days?
1 day.
1 day. So you gonna tell somebody after 1 day he ain't never gonna
Yeah,
make
but
business?
they're trying. I think he's just being a dick, but I'm sure because he's short.
Yeah, he's fucking angry. So basically, you're telling me Buddy Lee Parker whooped your ass. We're gonna have to set up a fight with him. I don't even know what he does anymore. Does he do anything?
I haven't heard nothing out of him. He did those shows, those indie shows with Chuck and Marty and all them guys a few years back.
You think he looks back on that and go, yeah, I might have fucked up on that one?
Nah, I doubt if he even remembers me, man. Because I imagine there was a lot of dudes who looked just like me who came through that he chased out.
Nah, maybe so.
What did Bischoff tell Steve Austin? Never amount to anything.
Yo, the guy in black tights and black boots will never
Never
go.
make it.
Right, never make it. Right, how the fuck does that happen?
That's
Yeah.
great, man.
How'd you like those Louisville days, Dave?
You know, I mean, good memories. I wasn't real happy while I was there. It just wasn't home, you know. And you know that shithole of a gym we had. I mean, now we got it made, but we had a shithole, man.
Oh, you talking about Davis Arena?
Yeah, Davis Arena.
Oh God, that place was like
pissing in the back, and
yeah, it was like in a that part of town looked like a Berlin after World War II or something.
That's where I tell people this story all the time. But when my wife and I first pulled up to Davis Arena, she started crying because she thought, you know, we were gonna.
So did I.
we left Allentown, Pennsylvania, which was a shithole, to go to Louisville to drive across the bridge to this, dump. The warehouse with busted out windows.
Oh, it was like the whole area though was like that was the only occupied building in the whole
It was
4
an
blocks.
abandoned ghost town.
How did you feel about the Davis Arena?
Fucking hate it. Fucking hate it.
Some air conditioning might have helped in there too.
Air conditioned, heat, whatever. Even some windows. And I think you came after we got the new ring, but when I first got down there, before the show came down, we had a ring that sunk down and clear to the floor.
Oh yeah, I think they had one of those old WCW rings in there when I got there.
Mm-hmm.
The ring was all right, but the damn building, I was worried about the building falling down on top of it.
Right.
I think they moved that. Didn't Danny Davis get a new place or something? Because he's training.
I did one show with OVW like that, but that was in like some kind of not their regular place. It was like one of their big shows, and Johnny asked me to go do the show, Johnny Ace, and I went and did it.
Oh, was that the Garden?
Yeah, I never did. I never
that
did
place
anything.
looked like Madison Square Garden compared to Davis Arena.
I wouldn't have made it if I had to go to one of them fucking OVW or Cincinnati or what it was, HWA. Was that what Cincinnati was?
Yeah.
I couldn't handle that.
I don't know what it was like there, but I spent time in OVW and Memphis. OVW was a little more professionally run than Memphis. I mean, Memphis, everybody was just kind of fucking around. But, I mean, OVW, we'd actually get in there and train and do stuff. I mean, I like Danny Davis. I thought he was a good trainer.
Was he a good hand?
He was a good hand.
That's JR's.
Yeah, we definitely did train. We put in some hours training.
I'll tell you who was a weird dude, and I don't mean this.
Rip Rogers?
Rip fucking Rogers. Damn.
Don't even get me started.
Look at that. Come on, man. Give me a Rip Rogers story.
That dude never had one kind word to say to me the whole fucking time I was there, man.
How many guys?
He would make me lose to schoolboys all the time.
Schoolboy is the most over finish of all time.
At least it doesn't hurt.
I would always like. I remember working certain big guys, and like they never wanted me to use my finish to go over. But a schoolboy, where I actually hold him down with just one arm.
Yeah, you can beat Superman with that.
I was like, oh, if that's what you want, man, I don't care.
Yeah, I couldn't do any right with Rip. It was like, if I was too light, he was like, this ain't ballet. And if I was, try to rough it up a little bit, why are you so stiff? All you big guys are so stiff. Like, I could never do anything right, man.
I never could, I don't know, there's something just really weird and, I don't know, psychotic about him, too.
Yeah.
It's always weird to me, guys that get these training positions that never really did much in their own career.
Yeah, like what makes you qualified to teach somebody else how to do it?
Yeah, it's like if you know all the secrets to getting over, like why didn't you use them for yourself? I don't know. I remember I had to work with Dave a lot when he first came in up there. You remember that? And like I love Jack Lanza. I respect the hell out of Jack Lanza, but I would always want to go out there and make Dave mad. Like as a Hurricane, and like sometimes Jack would be like, it just needs to go out there and just be mad. And I'm like, at what?
Why is he mad?
Why is he mad? Who's he mad at? He goes, at you. I'm like, what'd I do?
I ain't done shit.
It's like, that's his gimmick. And I was like, remember this back and forth? I go, his gimmick is that he's mad? I'm like, that's not a gimmick. That's an emotion.
Mad Max.
And so I would want to go out there and fuck with Dave and then make him mad. And then, the end result was going to be the fucking Bautista bomb. I just want to get there. I just want to get to it in an
Have a
entertaining.
reason for it.
Yeah.
Make it mean something.
Yeah.
I think the original idea they had was, like, the backstory to me was that I was, like, the child of a rape victim. And I was just angry.
Just angry.
I was just mad.
That's his gimmick. He's mad.
I couldn't beat you up enough.
There was one match. Remember when I had busted my mouth somehow and blood that came out and landed in my ear and we thought my fucking ear was bleeding. And we were working our ass off too. It was, power slams, gorilla presses. See, we did shit on the floor, on the fucking ring, barricade, come back in, run in power slam, power bomb. The spine buster out of the, remember I would try to sunset flip you grab me by the throat, throw me up in the air, spine buster me down.
Right.
And then we come back and On be like, we need to be more vicious. I'm like, On, I'm bleeding out of my fucking ear.
Yeah, but you're still breathing, motherfucker.
He's not exaggerating. Mine was like,
gotta be more vicious. Yeah, with the hair. Gotta be more vicious. God damn, I can barely walk.
Been in street fights that were easier than this.
You know, it was crazy, man. It was good times, though. You know what I mean? I mean, the end result. I mean, it eventually worked. Once they started letting you have some character, that's when, you know, that's when you fucking took off.
Right.
When you got to have a little fun out there. And
Now, they didn't want to do the Leviathan gimmick at all. Nobody was wanting to do that.
No, it was just, you know, so 80s hokey, ridiculous, man. Just, you know, so they stuck a big box around my neck instead.
a big box.
Well, they made you preacher.
Oh, right. The Deacon. I forgot about that. You know, Devon just left TNA, man. Maybe he can come be in your corner now.
Oh yeah, you gotta give him a call, man.
Give him a call. That was you didn't do that, but for like a year or so, right?
Yeah, not even that long. And they just all of a sudden, like kind of out of nowhere, decided they were splitting us up with no story at all. I got mad at them one day.
Fucking mad.
And it was over.
Just fucking mad all the time.
I was just
a rape victim.
Because you were a rape victim.
And he realized that Devon was a Catholic.
Devon definitely was not a Catholic.
Yeah.
And then would the Evolution thing come shortly thereafter?
Yeah.
Now I know the big part of Evolution involved beating the fuck out of me and Rosie every week.
Right.
So, I got some kid to put together a bunch of my matches, and that whole rise of Evolution just involved pedigrees and Bautista bombs for me for like fucking 9 weeks in a row. And
that's how you get over, man.
just beat my ass.
Beat up on Rosie Hurricane.
Well, Rosie was too big to do that shit too, so it had to be.
No, yeah, but fucking Dave went out there, but spine busted the shit out of Rosie a couple times. You could get Rosie up.
He was an athletic fucker too, man.
Yeah.
The whole family, man.
Yeah, exactly. That whole family's So you trained with Alpha? Was Alpha hands-on training with you, or?
Yeah, I trained with Alpha for a year before I went to OVW.
Man.
And what's all? I know all those guys are related. Alpha and Seeker, are they brothers?
Brothers, yeah.
And then Eddie and ECMO were what? Nephews of theirs? Or are they one of his kids?
Which one's ECMO?
Nephews.
One of them was my guy.
That's Eki.
Yeah, ECMO. Wasn't that his name?
Well, who's Eddie?
Rosie.
No, that's Maddie's.
Whatever.
Same guy. Maddie's Rosie.
Maddie's Rosie.
Okay, them two. What is it?
Sika's son, right?
Rosie's Sika's son.
Sika or
now what about
I don't know, man. That family tree.
What about Ricky?
That family tree's got a lot of branches. That shit just goes out.
What about Rikishi?
Some family tree.
Rikishi's in there.
Yeah, he's in there somewhere.
He's in there somewhere. I don't know.
Is he part of it? He's a generation down from Alpha and Sika, though, right? And a generation up from Rosie.
Man, I don't fucking know.
Never mind. I don't want to get too much.
Wait, what are we gonna make a coat of arms?
Yeah, we're here the rest of the fucking day. Give me a big chalkboard or something. We'll start drawing this shit out.
Fucking Umaga was talented as hell though. You got to work with him quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I wish we got to work together more actually, because we had they just threw us together for a match at WrestleMania because
with the hair Donald Trump thing.
No, that was Bobby.
That was Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby and Umaga. I think we were the year after that because neither one of us had a match, so they just put the match together and called it like a SmackDown Raw rivalry or something like that. It's kind of stupid, but they gave us 10 minutes to work with, and they didn't want us to do anything, too crazy. They just said, "Dude, 10 minutes, go and have a nice little simple match." And
at Mania, I like this.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's what they told us. They said, just there's no story to it. We want to get you guys both in the show because originally it was supposed to be me and Ray against Big Show and Mayweather. And I think Ray had gotten injured or something, so they had switched a lot of things around. So it ended up being Show versus Mayweather. And they just do a match with me and Umaga together. He was athletic, dude. I loved working with him, man. Just really got more time together. I actually worked the program.
I remember the night they brought them in for a tryout. They were out there bumping their asses off.
Yeah, they could go, man. They were very selfless. Rosie sometimes would actually be overly selfless. Like he'd be out there bumping, I'd be like, Rosie, man, don't.
I know, for being so big.
Yeah, you stay. I take care of the bumps. I'm the little man here.
You gotta keep the big man strong.
Yeah, I didn't have the little man complex. I understood the dynamic. I take these bumps,
and I would let you.
You stay big. Yeah. When I was teaming with this guy, was the fucking. You want a partner that don't bump? Team with him.
Gotta keep the big man strong.
But yeah, I knew that too. I knew with you. You know, if my big man's out there getting his ass kicked,
What are you supposed to do?
then what the fuck am I gonna do?
Jacked up don't do jobs.
Jacked up don't do no jobs.
Don't take I ain't selling shit.
But Mike was also on hand where we had a couple guys that didn't respect the little man. This one guy sitting there talking to us. We're gonna try to put this match together. He tells Mike, he goes, "Man, I need you to stay in the ring because I can't sell for little man here."
No.
I'm right fucking there, right beside him, going.
Like Shane's right here, and he does this number. I can't sell for little man here.
Oh man.
And then I tried to quell the situation. I said, "No, he's good. You'll be fine. Sell what you need to sell." And then we get in the ring, and he's completely no-sell Shane. And then just stands up right in the middle of the heat and slapped Shane in the mouth and busted his lip. How'd that work out?
So then I fucking gut wrenched him to his damn head. He had his long mullet hair, and I wrapped my damn hands in it and Muay Thai kneed him in his face until he begged for fucking mercy.
Then you tagged me and said, "Get in here and straighten this jackass out."
The
So
Indies.
He's trying to get up, and I put him in a chin lock, and I'm like, "No, man, just lay here for a second." He's like, "What the fuck's wrong with him?" I said, "You are. What's wrong with you? Don't no-sell somebody in here, motherfucker."
Messed up my mullet.
Yeah. Fucking Shane still was over there pulling his hair out of his.
Got a little,
Damn.
yeah, the big man complex and the little man complex, they kind of butt heads, boy.
But
And then
you
he
don't
came
mess
up-
with a man's mullet.
Then he came
Yeah,
back there and
that's
tried to
true,
bitch about it after the show, and you pumped him down again in the locker room.
Fuck it, man.
The guy weighed 280.
I get angry, man. That short fuse.
He walked over there and said, "Man, you said shut the fuck up." And he looked at me and went, I said, "You better shut the fuck up. You done got your ass whooped in the ring. Don't get it again back here." Jimmy Valiant wanted no part of that action either, did he?
Jimmy Valiant was his trainer.
Yeah, Jimmy Valiant walked by and said,
Yeah, fuck it. That'd have been great if the boogeyman would have kicked my ass.
"I'd have sold for him." I'm over there bumping.
You see any guys from the business from the Fed anymore?
I still talk to Chavo on a regular basis. He'll actually be there with me at the fight.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in the fucking UK.
Low key is, I see if he's home, I see him daily. He usually trains at our gym. He's a real close friend.
Yeah, I like him.
Kept in touch with Taker, but I haven't talked with him recently.
You know he had his kid?
Oh, did he?
Yep.
They had Michelle or baby?
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I can't remember the name, what he said it was, but something.
Definitely something.
I still stay in touch with a lot of people, man. I'm on the Twitter talking shit all the time, so I get a lot of DMs because guys like they'll pop for what some of the crazy shit I say, but they don't want to publicly acknowledge the pop.
Right.
So I get like these private messages. Tommy's the worst. Like Tommy Dream, I'm like, dude, nobody's gonna care if you laugh at a fucking joke. Just fucking laugh, man. Everybody knows I'm an idiot.
What dream is
Right.
Hey, you see how fast he agreed with that?
Yeah.
That's your title.
Where's Dreamer at these days? He's starting his own thing, ain't he?
Yeah, he's starting a promotion up in New Jersey or Philly or some shit. House of Hardcore or something like that.
Rob Feinstein's all over that shit too.
You got any aspirations to get back in the pro wrestling ring at the moment, or?
I like to, man. I'm just, I'm trying to hold out on this PG thing, I don't get it, man. You know how it's changed so much. It just seems like everything that we were, trained to do that we thought meant something, just you can't do anymore, It's like they took our livelihood tools away and just didn't sit well with me. I didn't feel like I had a place with WWE anymore. But I'd love to. I think go over and wrestle in Japan, maybe. But I'd still love to do. My heart's still with WWE.
Yeah.
So I can be there some more before it's all said and done.
Yeah, I definitely didn't like the I actually put out a shirt that said PG sucks. You can still find it on ShaneHelms.com.
Right.
And they actually sold pretty well. A lot of people. But I think people took it as like I hated the whole product. I don't, and obviously with a superhero, I think you got to have, PG elements, but it just can't all be PG. I definitely agree with that. But I think with the Linda McMahon thing and I know some of the bigger sponsors wanted it to tone it down a little bit, but violence, life isn't PG. You turn on the news isn't PG. Life isn't PG. So why we got to dumb down our product?
Right.
So much. I definitely don't agree with either.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think a lot of people, I'm in the same boat. I think a lot of people thought that I was anti-WWE, which I'm not at all. And I didn't just quit or walk out. I mean, I gave them, a lot of notice, like 9 months notice that I was leaving. And I wasn't happy the last couple of years I was there just because, stuff that, we were told to do and it meant something. Like when, if we gave up some blood for our art for wrestling, it meant something, And then they tell you all of a sudden that you doing that, giving up some blood for wrestling is wrong, and they start fining you $100,000 for giving up some blood for being passionate about something.
Right.
That something's wrong, man. That didn't sit well with me. So I don't dig this whole PG thing. I agree that there needs to be some PG element to it, but there also needs to be some edge to it too. I mean, that's when I fell in love with it when it was.
Yeah, if you're watching an R-rated movie, it's not like everybody is walking around saying fuck, fuck, fuck the whole entire time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
but when it's needed, it could definitely elevate a story.
You mean like on this show?
Like on this show, yeah, I don't cuss all the time, but if I needed to get some point across, it comes out. Like I said, I was dressed up like a superhero, but my partner was named shit. I had a shirt that said biatch on the back. So, I mean, I definitely thought my character was PG, but at time could go R, and that's what made it funny.
That's some funny shit, wasn't it?
That's some funny shit.
There's got to be some edginess to it, man. They just can't take away. I mean, I just don't think that they were just restricting us so much to, what we could do.
Well, you know what it is too, because of the microscope that WWE is under, and that pro wrestling is always under in general.
Right.
Our PG or WWE's PG is actually G. It's actually more G than PG.
Right.
Because they're looked at, even though it's a primetime show, they think that we're marketing to kids and all that shit. And it's like, no, we're still marketing to adults. The money comes from adults. It's not like a lot of kids are out there with full-time fucking jobs buying pay-per-views. It's still the adults that are going to fork out the money.
Right.
But the microscope that they're held under.
There's always somebody waiting in the bushes to pounce on them.
Yeah, you
look at somebody the wrong way.
In WCW, when we had that standards and practices deal that was coming down on us so hard, there would be so much on Nitro or Thunder that was bad. And then right afterward, they'd have a Rambo marathon where he killing the fuck out of them 800 people.
Right.
And like, how is that okay? And what we do isn't.
Right.
Say WWE.
It really doesn't make any sense, man. And I just got tired of, every time the rules were changing day by day. It's like you could never do anything right anymore.
Yeah.
Everything that you've been taught to do for years is all of a sudden wrong. And that really, went match by match. I had enough, man. It's like got to the point where you couldn't do anything. Kind of walk out to the ring, do nothing, stand there, put a bunch of baby oil on, for the HD camera.
HD ready. You got to be HD ready.
Have a very restricted match where you could only give, the audience a watered down version of what you were doing in the past. And not feel happy about, not feel proud about the product that you were giving out, man. It just didn't sit well with me at all.
Yeah, it's like when I watch, MMA, I don't consider that rated R.
Right.
I mean, you got guys out there, but what if they weren't allowed to bleed, or they, if they cuss too much or some shit, like it would get taken off the air. Like violence, I mean, we're putting on a show that is centered around competitive violence, whether it's simulated or not. That's the basis, the backbone of what we do.
Right.
So yeah. I'm not a big fan. Like I say, I mean, you can have PG, Santino doesn't bother me. But at the same time, I don't want to see Steve Austin out there going, I'm going to kick your tail.
Right. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Don't give him a watered down version of Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Wasn't it firing because he choked somebody with a tie?
Yeah, you choke somebody with a tie, you get fired.
All right.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm real happy to see guys like Brock going back to wrestling and King Mo going over to wrestling.
Yeah.
Guys who are, got that credibility, because I think pro wrestling needs a little bit of that. Well, needs a lot of that, actually.
Yeah, without doubt. And like I say, man, I think if you look into that, if you look into that IGF company in Japan, man, there's a lot of guys from K1 over there. Mark Coleman works for him. He was on the last show that I was on. That might be something interesting for you to do. They got a little bit of cheddar too.
Oh yeah.
Them boys pay. Their world championship belt is like $1 million belt or something, like $500,000. It's like real diamonds and gold, and it's surrounded by bodyguards at all time. They wouldn't even let me look at the fucking thing.
Charge you to look at it.
What they knew is they keep this white boy away from here.
Can I see the belt?
They heard about me. They heard about me coming over there. So we got the fight coming up October 6th, and that's in Maine.
in Providence, Rhode Island, at Dunkin' Donuts Center.
That's what I meant, Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But it's the main event. That's what I meant.
I knew what you meant.
See?
And it's near Maine.
And it's near Maine. It is in the vicinity. And then November the 2nd, we got the big movie coming out, man. You got 2012 is going to be, I mean, well, it has been fucking pretty awesome for you, man. That's cool.
And man, with the Iron Fist. Then next year, I think first quarter next year, the next Riddick installment will be coming out, which I already did this year with Vin Diesel. That's going to be a hot movie. If you're a fan of like Pitch Black.
Yeah, that's about the only stuff of his I've ever liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really liked his other stuff, but I thought he was cool in Riddick, The Chronicles of Riddick and Pitch Black, like you said. Yeah, that shit was good. There's also some kind of little DVD where you could buy, and they had little animated shorts of the Chronicles of Riddick, animated short stories, and that's actually pretty interesting too. So for your knowledge.
Thank you.
To help you go forward.
Thank you.
There you go. But Dave, the Hurricane Bobblehead says thank you for being on the show.
Dave, it was nice talking to you again. It's been a while.
All right, bro.
Hey, man, good luck with everything, and go out there and knock that motherfucker out.
Thanks, man.
We'll be
I
watching.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be watching.
All right, cool.
All right,
Talk to you guys, man.
you bet.
Thanks.
Boom. That's a good guy, man. That's a hell of a 2012 there.
I'm surprised he was able to recognize me by appearance.
The Big Daddy, man. Don't nobody be forgetting the Big Daddy. Look at that face. How do you forget that? How do you forget that face, man? That face right there, man. Look how shredded that dude is.
Because from here down, is there any way you can superimpose my face on his body? Oh, actually,
Look
there
at
it
you.
is.
Look at me.
Hell yeah. The crab.
Look at that. Good Lord.
Who was that? I saw an interview on the internet or something. It was somebody from WCW or something. I don't know if you've seen it. And he was talking about Rosie with the superhero in training. And he said, I saw that and I knew that I was done.
Goldberg.
Was it Goldberg?
Yeah, Goldberg was always said that. Because he did it for the kids. I mean, there was a lot more going on than just that. That might have been, especially at a very agitated moment of his career, especially there that
No, what was going on with him during that time?
He just wasn't happy being there.
Because he wasn't the same status he was in WCW?
I guess, I don't know all what was going on. I don't know what they were telling him or what was going through his head, so I can't. It'd be hard for me.
They were always reluctant to put over somebody that was a star in another company, weren't they?
Yeah. I mean, they wanted you to come over. I mean, and two, the build is the build is almost as impressive and entertaining as actually like the path to the championship is always. To me,
once you get there, it's over.
Yeah, once you get there, it's over. So, I mean, if you come in and you just, go and you're in the main events all the time, like there's no build, and so maybe he just didn't want to go through that again. And keep in mind, that's all speculation. I don't fucking know.
Well, he didn't exactly have years of experience in the business to gain perspective from either. Straight to the top.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that can have that effect on guys.
So, yep. There that is. Well, man, this has been a pretty entertaining show, if I must say so myself, and I do. And the Hurricane Bobblehead said, yeah! I keep that thing there for good luck. Good news, as you just heard earlier, for the people that follow Shane Helms personally, my son Sebastian is 9 pounds 13 ounces today. The boy is growing, and he's going to keep the blue eyes.
How do you know?
Because they told him.
Okay.
They said that, I guess most babies are born with blue eyes anyway.
Yeah.
And then they gradually change, and I got deep brown eyes because I'm full of shit. And so he's had those blue eyes, and we just been hoping he's going to keep them. They told him that they probably keep them. So super excited about my little blue eye boy.
I used to have blonde hair and blue eyes when I was a kid.
Woo! Did you ever do one of these when you were a kid? But cool. I think I'm off this weekend. Actually, I'm going to go try to see Mickie James in Hope Mills, Fayetteville, North Carolina area, somewhere around there. She'll be performing, so if you're in that area, come check us out. Also, there's a show in Apex, which you might be at.
Grogs, the Gouge Wrestling.
Gouge Wrestling, Gouge. Google that shit, and you can find out information on that.
Yes, I will be there.
If I can't,
the chin lock for Chuck.
If I can't make it to Mickie James, I might pop up there with you. And that's all we got. And then next week, I'm going to the UK. Is that a U? That's a V. The VK. You know what that means? In UK, That's what that means. There you go.
It means peace.
Cultural lessons.
Peace. There's your fucking hat.
I support bacteria because for some of you people, that's the only culture you have. Get it? There you go. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. Heaven forbid.
Highway to Helms.
Another day, another dollar as I holler to the world. I love the way I'm living, love the Gucci, love the girls, love the parties and the clubs, love the models and hot tubs, love the German engineering set on deep dish dubs. Another tour around the world, entertaining the fans. I love walking through the airport, taking pictures, shaking hands. Every day for me's an oyster, crack it open, find the pearl. I love the way I'm living, is what I holler to the world.